Hello, loves. Hello, hello. Hills here from the Blue Flame. How are we doing? How is everyone's Arcturian messenger portal? Whew, we are coming in quick for the solstice, the Cancer, June solstice, and Capricorn full moon. They are happening on the 20th of June and the 21st of June. So the sun will alight into the sign of Cancer, and less than 24 hours later, will meet in opposition to the moon in Capricorn, both at 1 degree for our Capricorn full moon. Now, there's a lot on offer during this cycle. And when we get to play with a mid-year event like a solstice in conjunction with a full or new moon, it really heightens the energy of both, really heightens the energy of both. Now, as we come into this energy update, what I have been asked to share is a coming through the 29 of Gemini with the first Venus, which is happening on the 16th this evening. I'm recording this on the 16th. Then on the 17th, Mercury will follow suit, passing through the 29th degree into the 0 degree of Cancer. They will meet in conjunction, Venus and Mercury, on the 17th. So we have this really strong energy of completion through that 29th degree of Gemini, coming into the cardinal point or the 0 point of Cancer. This is not ending our connection to that Gemini energy, however. Remember, Jupiter is going to stay in Gemini through June of next year, until June of next year. And the Venus star point, which occurred on the 4th of June, occurred at 14 degrees of Gemini, which means that even as Venus starts to re-emerge from Cazimi, from the center of the sun, and begin her ascent back in from the underworld and re-emergence as an evening star, which we'll probably get to start seeing her post-sunset right around the Lionsgate portal. So that's really beautiful. Right around the end of July, beginning of August. This energy that Venus is carrying with her in her evening star phase, though, is Geminian. So we are carrying into Cancer season and through the rest of this year the energy of expression and communication. As first Venus this evening, right now, as I'm speaking, in fact, moves through that 29th degree of Gemini, and then Mercury follows suit, and then the sun follows them on the 20th of June. We find each of them coming into an exact square with that shamanic energy that is Neptune at the 29th or anaretic degree of Pisces. We've talked a little bit about this in earlier videos, but it comes in, and it came in very loudly in my morning meditation today, that we are alighting to greater capacity to communicate through the veils, but that one of the effects of this awakening capacity, this remembered capacity that we have to communicate with one another, with the elementals, with the universe, is that it can get really chattery, it can get really loud. really loud. And as Neptune is shamanic energy and dreaming energy, it is also the energy of illusion. Illusionary energy is very, very connected to Neptune. So as we're coming through this 29-degree with Neptune, and we're going to be playing in this area all year because Neptune's about to go retrograde. As we're playing with this energy, part of what we are doing is coming into right relationship with discernment, with understanding that those messages, the information that we are receiving, and being able to discern that which is actually true and that which is part of a trauma loop, an old pattern, part of that which is falling away, that's very loud. As things start to dissipate, as they go supernova, perhaps. We'll use that term because we are coming through a conjunction with Betelgeuse after all at the 29 of Gemini, 0 of Cancer. As things begin to heat up, the signal array gets louder and louder. The fuzz gets louder and louder. You can think of this as like the distortion that happens when you turn the volume of an amplifier up really loud. It can feed back and cause all kinds of new information to come into your system. If you have ever been at a concert and the microphone or the guitar or some other instrument feeds back, everyone jumps, right? It has this instant reaction in your system because it's so much information coming in all at once and it's not coming through cleanly. So as we are playing with this energy of 29 Pisces Neptune, as Venus, then Mercury, then the Sun pass through a square in Gemini with that energy, all while we have Pluto at the 1 of Aquarius starting to go backwards, getting ready to go into the last degrees of Capricorn again in the fall, in September. It might not be the fall where you are, it might be the spring. We are being asked to come into more, let me feel how this wants to be said. And this is I think a teaching moment. If you watch these videos, or if this is the first time you've come across one of my videos, you'll notice that I pause a lot. I take a breath, I take a beat. Everything that I share with you is coming through in an open channel frequency transmission. So part of what we are all doing right now is coming into our capacities as open channels. Every single one of us is an open channel. We are channels for the divine. We could call that our own divine light. We are vessels, channels through which our soul, our spirit is called in, and we share that with everyone. So as open channels, and the more open we get, the more radio frequency we pick up. And coming into a state of discernment, does this serve? Is this in the highest good of all? Is this true? Is this true? Is this the highest truth I can access at this moment? These are some of my prayers and questions whenever I'm facilitating with anyone individually, or sharing, or really every moment that I'm walking through my day. So I take a pause and I say, what is it that, what is the word? What is the thing? What is the expression that will most serve in this moment. Integrity is the word that wanted to come through there. We are being asked to hold ourselves and all that we do, and hold others to discernible integrity. If we see someone walking in a non-integral manner, it might kick up in us a fear response or an emotional response. Remember, this is Piscean energy where Neptune is traveling, and we also have Saturn there getting ready to go retrograde just a couple of days before Neptune does. Saturn will go retrograde on June 29th, Neptune on the 2nd. So as we're coming into the new moon, more on that in another video. We are being asked to be in our unique, integral expression and to allure, to call forth more integrity in our surroundings so that it is a frequency match. We are in this dance. All of life is a dance. It is a magnetization of that which we desire. And a lot of times we're running this in our unconscious and subconscious. And what we are being asked to do in this era, in this phase, as we move into this next cycle, is to come into greater and greater alignment with our highest expression. And to remember that as we come into and balance in that state, we are calling that forth. We are alluring it. We are magnetizing it through the universe, through all of our experiences, and through all of our interactions. We are a reflection, as everything around us is a reflection of us. So if we are in our high heart, if we are transiting the heart through the high heart, through the causal plane, through our expression, we are calling in to us also expressions of higher heart, of love, of truth. Now, love and truth, they are the same word. They mean the same thing. They are expressions of universality. So this is kind of what we are moving through as we move through this solstice into this Capricorn full moon. Now, there is a really beautiful cardinal grand cross going on during this full moon, and I'm going to share a bit more about that in a moment. But before I do, it was very loud that I share with you a little bit about the color wheel, the astrological wheel that we are, the aspect of it that we're playing with when we're playing with Cancer Capricorn energy. If you think about, if you feel about Cancer energy, Cancers have been called nurturing, mothering, very going with the flow, right? But Cancer is also represented by the crab. So it's this tender underbelly, this tender inside, protected by a strong shell with big claws. One of the ways that we can think of this is the unconditional love represented by the second chamber of the heart, by the frequency of rose quartz and the pink ray, that pink energy, that soft pink rose quartz energy of our heart chakra, and how the rose itself is connected to this. Delicate flowers, beautiful aroma, alluring, gentle love. It is the flower that is given as a token of love in so many ways, and different colors of the rose can mean different things. The white rose, a purity, with the red rose and the pink rose being more about passion, the blood. The rose also has thorns. It is unconditional love with strong boundaries. And this is part of what the Cancer energy is. Cancer is also ruled by the moon. So here we have that Kairos time, that seasonality, that more feminine natured flow of time, right? Capricorn is our structures and foundations. Capricorn is ruled by Saturn, and the symbol is the sea goat. It is a long, arduous journey full of different elements. This seahorse goat that climbs from the depths of the ocean, the deepest part of the ocean, all the way up through the waters and up the mountain to the mountaintop. It is a strong energy. Ruled by Saturn, this is Chronos time. This is the time that we have structured our world in. A lot of people associate Saturn, Chronos, and Capricorn with patriarchy. And remember, we have Pluto getting ready to make its last little forays into the end degrees of Capricorn in a couple of months. So when we are playing with a Capricorn full moon or a Cancer full moon, we are literally coming into a balance, a harmonization, an equalization between the feminine Kairos flow of time and the masculine. I'm going to put feminine and masculine in quotes here, but it's a way of speaking of these energies. And that more structured, foundational, linear time. Remember, the sea goat travels from the bottom of the ocean up to the top of the mountain. Here we can see that linearity, right? We can see that, we can feel that it is a forward moment of time. It's a forward, whereas the moon moves in cycles. The moon moves in cycles. And the crab who lives in the sea is connected to those cycles. So part of what we connect to with a Capricorn full moon is the sun, which is outward expression of self in the sign of the moon, coming into a greater connection with that feminine or that cyclical expression of time. While the moon comes into contact with the energies of Saturn and with structures and foundations, shining, reflecting brightly into those places so that we can see where we have been building our foundations from our unconscious and subconscious patterning. You feel that? At the 1 degree, this is very, very, very strong because we are coming into the beginning of a cycle. These anaretic degrees, whether it's the 28, 29 of a sign and marking the completion of a cycle, or the 0 and the 1 marking the beginning of a cycle, are more active times, just like the moment that a planet stations retrograde or stations direct, or the moment of a cazimi or conjunction between two bodies that moment is heightened. The energy is heightened. Each of these 0-1s, each of these 28, 29s of a sign are heightened energies. So we can feel that the solstice moment of coming through the 0 of Cancer, coming through that moment of beginning a new cycle, a new journey into an energy. And in this case, into that more cyclical expression of time. All of the cardinal signs, of which Capricorn and Cancer are 2, Aries and Libra being the other 2, mark the beginning of a season. They connect us to that cyclical time. That cyclical time. Even Capricorn connects us to cyclical time. And I keep using this word time over and over again. Have you noticed? And it's in part because all of this Piscean energy with Saturn and Pisces and Neptune traveling through the end, getting ready next year to complete its Piscean cycle, are connected to how we experience the moments of our life. When we come into earthly incarnation, we are coming into an expression of a cycle. We, at least in the last couple of few thousand years, 10 maybe a little more, have experienced the cycle of human incarnation in a linear fashion. Part of what is coming through as we move through into the next cycle is finding ways to feel the now that flows through all. That flows through all. So if we feel this beginning cycle, that all of this cardinal energy on this full moon is connecting us to, and we feel that mutable energy of the Geminian that is still very loud and will be for the next year and a half or so, and then Uranus is going to move into Gemini, so it kicks up another notch. And that Pisces is another mutable sign, so we have Neptune here with that energy, right? We have Neptune there too, and Saturn. We are closing a cycle. The mutable signs represent the end of a season. Represent the end of a season. They ask us to let go of old paradigms. They ask us to be mutable, to be changeable, to be adaptable, to find ways to flow in a different direction and let go of that which needs to wash downstream. So to this cardinal cross. A cardinal grand cross occurs when we have things in all 4 of the cardinal signs in conjunction with one another. So in this case, it is, we have a couple of big, fun cardinal cross elements going on. We have, of course, the sun and the moon at 1 degrees of Capricorn and Cancer. Capricorn moon, Cancer sun, 1 degrees. Then we have the supergalactic center, which is found at 2 degrees of Libra. So this is making a beautiful T-square. We can feel that as we negotiate and navigate through our various unconscious structure buildings so that we can come into greater alignment, greater expressions of our nowness, of our beingness. We connect into not simply the center of our galaxy, but into the center around which our galaxy and all of our galaxy neighbors orbits. So coming into greater connection with the entire universal neighborhood of which we are a part. Not simply the galactic neighborhood, but the entire universal neighborhood of which we are a part. And this asks us to come back into that discernment. We will be picking up information from so many sources, and a lot of it is going to feel very new and different and exciting. But just because it's exciting doesn't mean it's true. So be sure to ask, is this true? Is the energy that I'm in communication with right now sharing truth with me? Or is it being translated through a fear receptor within my being, an old pattern or trauma or sense of disempowerment? Everything in the universe is an expression of love, including all of the cells of our body. We are all expressions of love in the always. However, we can pick up signals that are able to funnel through deep grooves of wounding, of trauma pattern, usually disempowerment, especially right now with Chiron and Eris in Aries in a nice tight conjunction. This doesn't mean that the source is bad. It simply means that we are running the information through an old program. We're running the information through an old program. We are allowing ourselves to be clawed into an old way, an old pattern. And again, that doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad thing either. Sometimes we are clawed into an old pattern so that we can see it from the new place where we are currently existing and find our way to navigate it in a different way. So we have that T-square going on. We have the sun and the moon and the supergalactic center. Then we have Mercury and Venus and the energies of the Hathors, that beautiful interdimensional, and also the Hathor, which is the Egyptian mother god, right? Very connected to justice and empowered compassion, which is also an energy of the rose dragons, which are a frequency of the Hathors, but that's a whole nother story. And if you're curious about it, you can come over to the members portal over in the Patreon, because I share a lot about them there. The Hathors asteroid is at 11 degrees of Cancer during this full moon. Mercury is at 9, Venus is at 6. This means that these three energies in Cancer are making an exact T-square with the North Node in Aries and the South Node in Libra. So they are lighting us upon our destiny path. They are asking us to look at those stories of where we've been, explore the gifts within and all of our relationships to all of the places that we've been, and how they are reflected in our relationships around us and within us, to carry that forward, the gifts within, to our true I am expression, which of course North Node in Aries represents. They are not alone. They're not alone. You see, Isis, Divine Mother energy herself, another Egyptian goddess, is moving retrograde through Capricorn in conjunction with the Tongvan creator being, Wawa, who sings and dances the universe into being. Both of them are in that 9 and 10 of Capricorn, both moving retrograde. So they are helping us come into a rebirthing. Remember what I said, that this is the launching of a new cycle. We are coming into a new cycle. Every solstice is the coming into a new cycle. And as we come into this new cycle, we have the goddess of remembering and rebirthing, Isis, moving with Venus and the Hathors, and with Mercury in Cancer in opposition. Now, opposition is a complementary, like a color wheel. Remember this. It is inviting us to explore the other side of the paradigm, to find those complements that they have with one another. I will share that my husband and I, myself a Cancer, himself a Capricorn in our sons, we flow with this. I live a very Kairos time, and he lives a very Chronos time, but we are able to find the places where those two energies can come into a state of harmonic resonance, right? And that's what we are all looking at. Where can we look at the other side and find those places where there is a harmonic resonance? This is the rebirthing cycle. We come into harmonic resonance with that which we are carrying forward. And remember, the North and South Node are being activated during this full moon. We come into harmonic resonance with that which we are bringing forward. And we allow that which is no longer part of the story to fall away. Now, Mercury and Venus on the 17th will come into their exact conjunction at the 0 degree of Cancer. This will allow us, this will invite us energetically to ask, how can I express my desires? How can I magnetize that which is my truth? How can I come into each moment with an expression of unconditional love? From an expression, in an expression of unconditional love. And remember that crab. Remember those roses. It does not mean to have no boundaries. It simply means being in love in each moment, which is our natural state. So, though we have been trained for many, 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 many years to hide our love away, that it might be something that can be used against us even, part of what we are here now exploring, doing, inviting, is all of those places and all of those ways where we can open up the rose, the delicate petals of our being. Let me feel here. A thread that's been weaving through this entire report that is part of this energy, especially the Geminian part of this energy, is that we are being invited to awaken more to that chakra that exists behind our head, that links, like our throat, that links our mental plane with our heart, our emotional body, and our mental body. This chakra is called the causal chakra. And it invites us to explore the deep grooves. It's connected to our amygdala and our vagus nerve and our Venus conjunction point, which sits between them, which is a sort of valve between the amygdala and the vagus nerve. And it's a place, one of the energies of the causal chakra is that it is a storehouse of information. It is a place where we can funnel and access information. As we awaken more, this chakra will come online, will begin to come online. And part of what is happening here, especially in the early stages of the causal chakra coming online, can be forgetfulness or a replaying, a rehashing of traumatic events experienced in this lifetime, experienced in previous lifetimes, experienced through the ancestral line. It is a clearing of old, deep grooves. Because this energy is so loud right now, because there is a sense in the field that many, many people who previously were not accessing this causal plane, which is a frequency of the blue flame as well. It's a frequency of blue. If you see this picture behind me, you can see that really lovely, almost iridescent blue there. That's a really nice frequency match to the energy of the causal chakra, the color that it invites. When we're working with the causal, we are working also with the connection between the hemispheres of our brain. We're bringing that connection more online. And back in 2021, following a sacred site journey to the Grand Canyon on the 1111 portal of 2021, a channeled frequency meditation came through called the Canyon Journey, and it is a very powerful causal chakra exploration. And I have been guided to share that here with everyone in the YouTube community. So I have uploaded that meditation for the first time ever to YouTube, and it will remain on the YouTube channel through this season, which means through the equinox, until the September equinox. So you're going to be invited. There will be a link below so that you can access it and explore it as often as you feel guided. As we come into this new cycle, I am also getting ready to begin a sacred site journey again, where I will be energetically facilitating and carrying all of the members of the Blue Flame Portal through various areas in Mexico. The 7/7 portal in particular, I will be in the Yucatan, in a very beautiful ancient pre-Columbian village called Izamal, which is also known as the City of the Hills, which is pretty amazing, right? Considering that I am Hills, right? Hills is one of the names that I have. It is called the City of Hills, however, because there are so many pyramids and temples in this space. So it should be pretty amazing to spend our Cancer new moon Sirius gateway 7/7 energy together there. If the members portal is something that calls to you, or simply coming in as a frequent community member, come over to the Patreon and check it out. There's lots and lots of goodies in there, whether you feel called to join the working circle that is the various tiers of the members portal or the free community where we're still in that held space. It is also possible that the 7/7 journey will be available to the entire Blue Flame community. So there's that as well. I will be in Southern California during the solstice and full moon, preparing for this journey. And I have been called to some powerful grid points in the area around Fallbrook, California, and Temecula for our full moon violet blue flame ceremony, which is a remote healing that I facilitate every full moon for the members portal. Again, come and check it out if it calls. I want to feel, and there is one more piece that would like to come through. Oh, yes, of course. Mars has now entered Taurus. Mars has left sign of rulership, Aries, and moved into the fields of Taurus, asking, inviting us to take the I am, the drive, the purpose into that which we create. Taurus is about what we create. On this full moon, Mars will be conjunct the asteroid Magdalena. Mars at 9 degrees of Taurus, Magdalena at 10 degrees of Taurus. This puts them exactly sextile with our Hathor, Venus, and Mercury conjunction in Cancer. This really feels like it is connected to the reclamation of our creative ability, our creation powers. And as we have been moving through this entire very long update, thank you for sticking with, we have been talking about, we have been exploring how we are coming into a cycle where the true expression of our being is how we create, not our unconscious, subconscious problems. See, there you go. Not the programs of our wounds and our traumas, but our true expression, reclaiming and remembering the wholeness that we are, which means the love that we are, that our embodied being is a vessel for this, that our embodied being is literally made of star stuff. Every elemental being, air, water, fire, and earth coming together in unification, creating this holy vessel. And we are reclaiming the knowing that this vessel is holy. And it is a vehicle for our I am. It is one of the ways that the universe, that love expresses itself and witnesses and remembers and glories in the magnificent beauty. All things are static unless observed, right? Our observation changes things. If we walk by a flower and don't notice it, it's not that the flower wasn't there, but we have missed an opportunity to come into a state of adoration, the flower to us and us to the flower. And I suppose that is the main invitation for all of us as we move through this solstice and full moon energy, is to let our shamanic eyes, that Neptunian energy, culminate in a state of allurement and adoration, that we may find wonderment and magnetize wonderment to us. Allowing that childlike joy and effervescence of the new to alight around us, even as we come into contact with that structural energy and that liminal energy, finding the harmonic resonance between them, wherein lies truth. Wherein lies truth. Wherein lays truth. If you enjoyed this video, please do like, subscribe, all the things. I'm going to have a bunch of links below for you to get to the members portal, to the Canyon Journey meditation, and other updates that correspond or correlate or are in harmonic resonance to this particular update. Check them out if you are called. Thank you for sharing this moment, this nowness with me, as I share with you, as always, in the always, so much and many loves from, through, and beyond the all dimensions.